Hello and welcome watch fam, I'm the Chirpy Panda and welcome to my affordable wristwatch channel where we unbox, give first impressions, give reviews and find out how to get those watches onto your wrist. Today we're looking to unbox and give my first impressions of what I think the community has dubbed the baby grand Seiko, the discontinued Seiko Sarb033. This is basically ridiculously hard to find this little bad boy. It's still on sale from Amazon, however it is extraordinarily expensive. Amazon is actually scalping. I didn't realize that an actual reputable retailer like Amazon will be scalping, but they're charging upwards north of 1,000 Australian, which is what, 800-900 American, when this used to be about 400 US dollars every day of the day, any day of the week. But now I had to go secondhand, got it on Reddit Watch Exchange, I believe that was the subreddit, from a company called 41 Reserve. I'll leave the link down to their website down below so they can check out what they sell. They sell a lot of secondhand type of watches, all in very good condition, all authenticated, sometimes even, to my understanding at least, serviced beforehand. I don't think this one was serviced beforehand though, but it came with an extra Gakota, I think it's Gakota strap, because the original, supposedly at least, the original Sarbo strap is just rubbish. I mean, most Seiko straps are just rubbish, and this is no exception. Anyways, I'll be unboxing this and giving my first impression, and I am heavily anticipating this. I've been looking for a daily driver, an everyday watch, an everyday sports watch to kind of enter my growing collection of watches. I've been wearing chronographs a lot, as well as a lot of dive watches. I mean, today I'm wearing the Orient Komatsu, which is obviously another dive watch. Everyone's got multiple dive watches now, but I don't really have this daily sports watch, which the Sarb033 could be. So without further ado, let's flip the camera around and check it out. Welcome back guys. So in front of me is the Seiko Sarb033 or Sarb033. I have been searching for this watch high and low and high, is that how would you say it? And it has been a struggle to get it, and here it is in front of me finally after searching everywhere. This is obviously, as I mentioned before, a secondhand watch, and I haven't opened the content of it just yet. So the box looks a little tattered, just so bear in mind that it is secondhand. This looks like a run-of-the-mill Seiko box from what I can see. Kind of like a cardboard box. Let's pop this open. Let me leave the box around here so you can, appreciate it from there. Now, I bought this from 41 Reserve. I bought another watch from them before. Oh, I forgot which one I bought from them now. And they have been nothing but a pleasure to deal with. And this is, oh wow, as they promised, this was in immaculate condition. And as you can see here, it does come with a Gecko aftermarket bracelet, because as we all know, the original bracelet for the Seiko wasn't that great. Inside the box is the original bracelet that the came with. Check that out later, and a little card. So this is what it used to cost, $425. Can't believe I paid $520 for this, but I got an extra bracelet, so I guess I kind of paid retail. Now, as we all know, this is, or I should say, dubbed the, what is it? Baby Grand Seiko, Baby GS. By Lord, does it deliver? I'm just trying to admire how pristine a second-hand watch that I bought from the guy is. Now, bracelet itself is not perfect. I don't know if you can see, it kind of sticks out. I'm not reviewing the bracelet, obviously, it just came as a bonus, a gravy. So I might have to prop it back onto its original bracelet, but the dial in itself is immaculate. But before I jump into more of the actual watch, let's run through some of the specs. I've got my trusty caliper, let me zero it out with me, and let's jump in. So the case diameter, it says it's 38.6, it's advertised as 38, so I'll take that as a granted. 11.6 in terms of thickness. Lug to lug of 44.5, very wearable. And lug width of 20.5, but I believe it's just 20 mil for the lug width. This is going to be an absolute strap monster. Now on this is a Hardlex crystal. I am unsure if I want to change it. I may change it to a flat sapphire in the future, but as it is, it looks pristine. I forgot to ask how long this guy has had it before. I think I am currently the second owner. And the movement, as we all know, is the 6R15 that is hackable, hand windable with a date complication and a 40-hour power reserve from memory. And the winding mechanism feels so delicious every time I have a 6R15 with me. So I've got a Sarb033 or the Alpinist, the green Alpinist. Obviously has the same movement, so it feels very, very familiar to me right now. And let's just check out the time. Second position is time, and then this will be 12 hours and it'll change dates. Cool. So the date changes around here by the looks of it. Anyways, let me move it just around here, and then I'll change the date in the first position. Oh, changes this way, doesn't it? Yep. Nice. Nothing to harp on about. It is a 6R15. It's a great movement for this price range. Once again, I got it for $520, but the original price of $425 is an absolute steal. However, I do see these go on sale for $700 USD, and I feel like it's a little bit expensive then. The crown is a signed crown, signed with S for Seiko. It kind of looks like a snake, if you can see it. Is that the Seiko logo? I'm unsure. And then obviously the back is a display case back with the 6R15 movement as mentioned. It also has some information in there. It says automatic, water resistant up to 10 bar, so it's 100 meter water resistant. Great. And Diashock 23 jewel, that's the movement, and it's made in Japan. I believe this is a JDM model. I gotta keep wiping the glass. People have been telling me to get some white gloves. I know I should. So eventually I'll get there. I haven't really left the house, not gonna lie. Now, just moving on to the dial, it is stunning. It's like is it a gloss black dial? I can't tell because the Heartlex crystal is very shiny, but I think it is a glossy black dial. And then the indices or the hour markers, so we've got double baton on the 12 and single for all the other ones. They are obviously applied. The Seiko logo is also applied, and then at the bottom it says automatic 23 joules. And on the right, I really like how the date wheel is also in black. They didn't skimp out and put a white date wheel there. There's only a couple of dollars. Some companies do that a lot. And then the dolphin hands are amazing. In the middle is a little bit of lume, so I'll do a lume shot later on. Not gonna hold my breath. And then obviously there's like lume pips at the, is that the inside or the top? The bottom, I should say the bottom of each baton. And then the second's hand is that a lollipop second? I mean, it's kind of got a diamond at the bottom. I'm not sure what that is, the official name for that hand will go, but the seconds are quite simple, and it reaches all the way to practically to the edge where the chapter ring is. Now I'm trying to look at it to see where the chapter ring is aligned. From what I can see, the chapter ring is well aligned. I don't have any issues there. Yeah. The left is Komatsu, the right is the Sarb033. So watching the Lume, you can quite distinctly see obviously the dive watch having a substantially better Lume. It was designed this way obviously, whereas for the Sarb033 they didn't really need Lume. They added it as a gravy. Most dressy or sporty watches like this probably wouldn't have Lume, but as you can see, even though it's Lume bright, the Komatsu is beating it by a mile. The other thing to note is that the actual dots on, or the lume pips, or lume dots I should say, on the Sarb033 is at the inner circle or the inside of the indices, and it makes the watch look substantially smaller in the dark, funny enough, but it doesn't take long for the light to dissipate from the Sarb033. So if you're looking for lume, it's not this watch. Now moving on to the case, wow! Look at the detailing of the case. Normally when you get a watch at the $400-500 price range, you generally just have like say polish on the side, a brush on the side, and then at best a different finishing on the top. So for example, polish, brushed, or brushed polish, like in those two formats. But here, not only is it polish on the side, there's a little step which requires additional machining to go through, and then it goes into a polished and very well polished type of edge there, which meets the bezel. I think it's kind of like a brush at the bottom, slope polish, and then polish on the top all the way around, where the crystal stands ever so slightly proud, like a millimeter proud, if that I can say. I love that detailing. I think this is the reason why people say this is the baby Grand Seiko, because of that finishing. Obviously Grand Seiko will have more angular, more not angular, but like more well polished. Everything will be completely sparkly mirror finished. So this is not up to that level. However, the amount of machining put into this case is stunning. And also each one of those baton indices are polished very well. Like, it's obviously I'll have to go in the macro, and you probably see it in my macro shots, which I'll chuck up on the screen. They are like mirror finish if I was to look at it with the naked eye, and it is absolutely stunning. Obviously this bracelet is not the original bracelet, it is the sorry, I keep saying gecko, it's a Gekota bracelet. It's really nice, I gotta say. I think it's already sized, not to my size, I have to redo it, but it is a push button with a proper milled clasp. So I think this is a great buy for me. And normally this retails for like what, $100 for just for the, was it $70 US? So I feel like I basically paid retail price, original retail price for this watch, which is I guess unheard of in today's you know, scalping prices rising for Seiko type of scenario, especially because the Sarb033 is discontinued, and you basically have to go aftermarket or second hand if you wanted to pick one of these up. So I'm extremely impressed with this watch so far. The main point of buying this was to have a like a daily driver, a daily watch. If you can even call it a one watch collection, this would be it, I believe. But obviously I'll need to test drive it for a couple of weeks or a month or longer to see whether it actually hits all the notes. I like how it's just got a date function. I don't really need a day functionality. Date is generally what I like checking. So, you know, I'll ask Google, what's the date today? I know what day it is, just what the date is. The reason why I ask that is very mundane, because I need to check if my milk has expired or if my bread has expired. But that's a must-have functionality. The other must-have functionality for a one watch collection would be a hand winding ability. This obviously hacks as well. So as you see, I put it all the way out to change the time, and the second hacks. 6R15 is very robust, not the prettiest movement to look at. However, it is very sturdy. I believe it's 21,600 beats, so it's not high beat, but it is 40-hour power reserve. So absolutely stunning. Now what I'll do now is I'll slap it on the wrist, but before I do that, let's do a wrist watch check. So I am wearing the Orient Kamasu, and it has been my kind of daily driver next to the Pierre Paulin chronograph, the Evil Panda chronograph, retro chronograph that I've been wearing recently, because I am currently reviewing this watch. So I kind of want to wear it for like a couple of weeks to see, you know, to test drive it, to see how things go. Now this is a 42 diameter watch, so I'm going to chuck this one, which is a 38 diameter watch, to see the size comparison. My wrist is 6¼ inches. I'll see if I can put it on this side. I probably can't. Oh, I can. So my wrist is 6¼ inch, but this is just a size comparison. I will take this off. This is 42, this is 38 millimeters. I apologize for the glare of my lights. Now this is unsized for my wrist right now. As you can see, I'll probably need to take a fair bit of links off actually to size it. However, this is how it looks on my 6¼ inch wrist. There we go, I always forget. Wow, this definitely is sporty enough for it to be a daily, but it can be dressed up if you wear a suit on a daily basis. I believe, at least. Look at that. It kind of has that daily watch kind of feel, or one watch based kind of collection. I think people are now, because they're working from home a lot, and they kind of want a watch that they can do everything for. So they can do some housework, they can walk around at home, they can go casual. So they don't want something too fancy. This is just like the in-between. It's not too fancy, but it is dressy enough to put a shirt and suit on, but not black tie. I wouldn't get to the stage. Maybe if I put a leather strap on it, it could pull it off. I don't know. I feel like if I was to wear this as a really dressy watch, I need to not have a date for complication, because I just want it as plain as possible. So I've got a few King Seikos now, or one King Seiko I should say, and a Lord Marvel, and without the date it looks really, really nice, and I feel like it can actually get dressed up a bit more. For this one, definitely a daily, looking really good. I am loving it. I cannot wait to take this out for a ride, if that makes sense. And anyways, let's flip the camera around and have my final thoughts. Hopefully this is enough wrist presence or wrist roll for you, because people are requesting a little bit of that, especially because some viewers have really tiny hands or thin wrists like me, and this kind of helps them gauge whether this will look good on their wrist or not. Let's flip the camera around and have my final thoughts. So that was my unboxing and first impressions of the Sarb033 actually. I don't really know how to say those name properly. It's a Sarb033. Most people call it Sarbo, right? Anyways, that was my first impression and unboxing, and wow, by God, this watch has earned virtually every accolade it has been given. It is an absolute stunner. I know I didn't put it onto the original strap, but having this Dakota strap already on it, courtesy of 41 Reserve, I'm extremely happy to say that it is almost perfect with this. What is this, like 3-link? What is this strap called? I probably should have looked it up online beforehand. And also the finishing, the detailing on the actual dial, the simplicity of the dial itself. However, the finishing of actually the hands and the actual indices and everything just gives this so much character with the minimalist amount of flair required. So yes, I feel like this could be my daily kind of sports watch, one that I can just pick it up and go. Is that what is it? Up and go watch? The one that you can quickly go. Like, the only thing is that I wish the power reserve was a little longer. I mean, most watches have about 40 hours. This one is no exception. Having said that, the Tissot Gentleman using the Powermatic 8, I think that's what it is, Powermatic 80, sorry, my bad. Their movement, I've been eyeing the, what is that called? The Tissot Gentleman for a while now, as well as the PR100, I believe. It's a comparable price to this one, actually a little bit more expensive. They've got an 80-hour power reserve, and I feel like for a watch that is an up and go, I want to pick it up at any time and know that I have enough power to go, is very important for that. The other important thing obviously is the data complication, which luckily this one has, but otherwise it is almost the perfect watch. Now give me a couple of weeks, I'm going to wear it on a daily basis and kind of really test drive it to make sure that, well, number one, it is what it's chalked up to be. Number two, I don't find any faults, or maybe I do find faults and I'll let you guys know, because obviously you've seen multiple reviews of this beautiful Sarb033 already, and I'm just going to see if there's an alternative view. Not necessarily, I don't know, because your mileage may vary, obviously. But anyway, so far, first impressions, number one, very good. And if I was to recommend you to get this after just purely unboxing and first impression, I'll probably say yes. So give me a couple of weeks, I'll do another in-depth review then, and then it may change. I don't think so, honestly. If anything, I've bought the King Seiko and it's kind of got almost the same feeling to it. However, this feels substantially more sturdy. With the King Seiko, I almost feel like if I bump it, it's game over for that vintage watch. So anyway, that's completely different story. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, consider subscribing. I post weekly and I do a lot of unboxing, reviews, random talks, comparison websites of watches, comparison reviews of watches. And if you're into that, just hit that subscribe so you can get notified. And if you can, just hit that like button, if you like the video, if you like the watch. Hey, you don't have to like the video. You just gotta like the watch. If you like the watch, hit that like button. It really does help with the algorithm. Otherwise, I'm the Chirpy Panda. You guys have been amazing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!